sorry about that. We're running a little behind, but tonight we are running episode 4 of our Pathfinder beginner campaign, Thronebreaker. This is actually the penultimate episode, so nothing exciting ever happens on the second to last episode, so don't worry. But before we get into our sponsors for tonight, we're going to go ahead and reintroduce our cast, starting with Ashely.
Hi, I'm Ashely, and I will be playing Freya this evening. I am looking forward to a very interesting game and to finding out if our party happens to have a future king with us.
We'll see. Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen. I will be playing Altair Basima. She is currently super worried and focused on her wife, who seems to have a curse or compulsion or whatever. And she has taken her to the temple of her former master to beg him for help saving her.
Hopefully everything will go fine. Steve.
Hey there! I'm gonna be playing Rukhari Tsukaba. He's that potential future king. And he hates it. He hates it. He hates it. He hates it so much! This is not in his comfort zone at all. And he's mostly trying to just focus on being more of a big brother to Aerel. And just doing what he does best to get the idea out of his mind. So we'll see. He hopes it's a joke. A great cosmic joke.
Right? I mean, that's the universe. It likes to play jokes on us, so, you know. Brittany.
Hi, everybody. My name's Brittany. Tonight I am going to be playing Aerel Caerdonel, the calm, collected character who is torn to tell her big brother figure that, hey, I get to watch you. Oh no. Will she tell him? Stay tuned.
I'm so excited for that. Staffan.
I'm Staffan, playing Pekka Kylemakki, who's had quite the year trying to keep the Rukhari's down moments up and Aerel's up moments a little bit leveled off at least, and trying to sort of make a threesome out of the remains of the group, whilst the real professionals, as it were, are out dealing with their personal business.
I mean, you guys have basically become the professionals now. Like, she passed the torch. You guys are here. Last but not least, our guest tonight, Ian.
Hi, I'm Ian. It's weird not doing the intro. I'm so not used to being on the player side of this. I'll be playing Viz, as I guess Sam would know, but I'm mostly a fly on the wall tonight. I will be an NPC, and I will be involved in the first act, but overall I'm just excited to watch the party.
I'm excited too. It'll be good. Also, tonight's session is brought to you by Smiteworks. They built Legacy Grounds Unity, which you can kind of see in the background. It is amazing. We've been using it throughout the campaign, trying to. Sometimes it crashes, hopefully not tonight. But you can catch it being expertly used on Sunday nights on our Age of Ashes stream, run by GM Ian over there. That way. Yep. Who actually knows how to use it way better than I do. Our music tonight is by Michael Gelfi and Rock Narden, and you can find links to their music in the show notes. Our videos post to YouTube a week from today, so make sure you check those out. Other than that, our maps are by Che and Piku. horribly sorry if I said that wrong. But they are beautiful, so make sure you check them out on Patreon. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into tonight's game. Last episode, we left off with Altair and Freya sort of passing the torch to Rukhari, Aerel, and Pekka, finally going their separate ways as Altair decided that she needed to revisit her master, because he was the only one that she could think of that knew how to help her wife. The other three went off to try and see if the scroll that Rukhari found is actually valid, if he does have a claim to the throne. And Pekka knows someone that would actually be able to verify this, someone that he served in the military with. It wasn't going to be an easy journey, but we'll get to that. We are instead going to focus on Freya and Altair for a moment. Altair, you've taken Freya to the only place that you, in your mind, that could possibly help your wife. As you've traveled, you've just seen the black veins spidering up her arms, completely marring your wife. She almost looks like a completely different person at this point. And you arrive in a place you never thought that you would return to. Following that feeling, you're just, this is never where you think he is going to be. But you always find him just as you're on that moment of losing hope that he's gone. But as you approach the gate, you sort of pause outside of this red gateway, and you know that should you step through it, that things are going to be different. This is not going to be the same place that you're not going to be the same person should you continue on. But Freya's limp in your arms. Again, just that blackness seeping into her skin, and you're not quite sure what else you can do. Real quick, what are your thoughts before you continue onwards?
So I feel like there's sort of a brief montage in her head of like all of those memories, like, you know, probably these steps in particular are like, you know, she's had to run up and down them so many times, either for training or just for punishment or something. You know, remembering times she's had to haul the water buckets from the river all the way down there instead of the well they have at the top. And, you know, just that typical, like, belligerent sort of thing. But then, you know, her thoughts drift to when she had to leave, and just that pain of leaving behind everything that she had known and turning her back on that space for what, to her at least, was the final time. And I feel like when she has that moment to reflect on that, her grip would tighten on Freya a little bit, and she'd cross that threshold.
As soon as you cross that threshold, it's a different place. Not the place that you remember training at. It's transformed somehow into something different. But standing there is someone that you recognize, hopefully able to help your confusion. Liz, why don't you go ahead and describe what you look like?
The catfolk of Galarian, they age the same track, roughly, as humans, though they mature slightly faster. However, they age more gracefully. If you didn't know this, you would think Viz is quite young. Vizmaravash is likely in his 70s. Altair would see this. But he's lean, and he's fit, and it seems he's living a rugged life out in near wilderness. He has, there it is, a meditative look about him. But he's frail. He seems just a bit weaker physically, but not of mind. Meditating slowly, he opens his eyes and he looks at you, Altair.
She would first bow her head before approaching slowly, assuming he doesn't say anything to impede the progress. She would set Freya down gently before him in, on whatever comfortable spot of grass or whatever they're on. And she would take a step back to do a much deeper bow, going directly to her knees, pressing her forehead to the ground before him in Dogeza. And she would just simply say,
It's time to go to bed.
Master, I humbly beg of you, please save this woman. I will pay whatever price you require. She is everything to me.
Well. He looks her over. Is she conscious?
Freya's not conscious right now. It's been a rough journey on her. She's been sleeping more often than not.
Book levitates off a table nearby as you look in that direction. This place you remember once, a little more than a mountain pass. Something of a lull here, or a plateau, enough for vegetation, some trees, and a waterfall, but there was nothing here even not long ago, and now it's like a small oasis. You can see supplies, hand tools strewn about. This place isn't quite complete. It looks like a project of his, yet you don't see any workers around working on it. As he flips through the book. What you must know, Altair. I cannot save her. She, herself, may do that. What has she gotten herself into? Spexer.
I don't understand it fully, if I'm being honest. Her familiar was possessed by some sort of yokai spirit, and it put her under this spell, this dark influence. It made her touch this sigil to the one of the darker gods of death, and that's what That's what caused the markings that are now corrupting her body. And she would like look up finally from her head, where her head is bowed. And again, like her face is full of just that resolve of doing whatever it takes to save her. I know that it will not be easy, but if there is anyone who can show her the way, a better way. You have been a guide to so many. And please, if you could be a guide to one more.
Inner light does not a hero make. He moves closer. What are these black veins like?
It's interesting. They go just completely spidering up every inch of visible skin. In some areas forming rune-like symbols, but mostly following the path of her blood. It's sort of a sight that even to Viz would send shivers down his spine. Not natural.
This darkness inside does not a villain make. The question, Altair, what would she want? This gift flows through her. And yet, given the choice, would she reject it?
I want to believe that she would, if her mind was clear and she was given the choice. But that choice was taken from her by the thing that influenced her and was controlling her spirit. I've done what I could to mitigate its influence. We think that's why she was able to hold out so far as long as she can, and even now she's still fighting. And I believe sincerely that if she did not want the choice, then she would have just given into it. But she fought it.
She may
Those
fight
words.
yet.
Yeah. Seems like she's fighting it now. You'll notice that her eyes are fluttering slightly. Muscles twitching. Someone that is about to wake up from a nightmare. Altair, you've seen this happen. She starts thrashing and almost crying out to you.
She would look at Viz for a second, and again give a brief bow before moving to soothe Freya from that position. Just like holding her hand and whispering and just being that reassuring presence.
As soon as I start to wake up, it's not a slow process, it's pretty sudden. I kind of bolt up. Altair! And I shake pretty violently. with it, reaching for Altair as quickly as I can, and kind of burying myself against her as I do, kind of pulling myself close to her. And I start to cry a little for a short period.
She would hold her close and just, have like my hand against her head, sort of running her fingers through her hair. But in the presence of Viz, Freya, I don't know if she would realize it right away, but like Freya would notice that there is just this sort of like distant sadness to the way she to the way she's presenting herself. Sort of like, it is more obvious that like she is trying to put on that brave face rather than like genuinely like believing in it, if that makes sense. And she would whisper to her like, "Fear not, my love. I am here by your side, and I'm taking you somewhere safe."
We're here.
With those words sort of hanging in the air that she brought her someplace safe, we're going to go ahead and turn over to our other three. Rukhari, Aerel, Pekka, your spiritual guidance, your Pekka Kylemakki has led you very close to the war. He has a friend that he fought with that is able to, he knows can verify this claim. This woman, this friend of his, owes him a great debt, and for this he's going to call in on it, hoping that she won't betray you to the enemy, because you guys are surrounded on all sides by enemies, it would seem, with the foreign invaders, with the country fighting back, the warlords. You don't know who to trust right now, but apparently you have to trust this one enough to take you to her. In an underground library, it's dark. You're only able to get there just after midnight. The moon is high in the sky, sort of lighting your way. You enter this room, Pekka. You did not think you'd be back here for a very long time. You trained here. This is where you spent many, many years reading about Selkut and his ways. But now before you in this empty library stands your friend, or at least someone that you used to think was your friend, Ronenberg. She looks at you, her arms folded. Pekka Kylemakki. Not a face I thought I would see in a very long time.
Ronenberg. It has indeed been an age, but yet the wheel does turn and eventually reaches the start again.
Yes.
I will admit that I had not intended to be back perhaps quite so soon, but I have in my travels come across a somewhat disturbing document. But I realized I needed your assistance to verify its progeny.
And do you have this document with you?
And Pekka will turn to Rukhari and go and bow in a odd mix of formal and familiar. It's sort of a formal bow, but to a familiar level, as it were. Rukhari, if you wouldn't mind. And he'll hold out his hand. And you'll just...
you can casualize all you want. I'm never getting used to that. But, hey, maybe this is the last time. You never know. And he'll hand over the genealogy document. We found that in the hilt of a sword. This sword, actually, and he'll kind of take his sword up now with a new non-broken handle.
Yeah, she takes the document and unrolls it. You see her eyes follow down the line, the genealogy. Then she just looks up at Pekka. Did not think that you could become more of a traitor than you already were, Pekka.
Nani?
The fates have indeed carried my soul into unexpected corners.
I will help you verify this, but only because I owe you a debt. But should anybody else find you here, I will not stop them. Pekka Kylemakki, you left us, betrayed us. Now you travel with an elf, Tanku. Definitely have fallen far. But she will round the table and walk off, going down the aisles of books, looking for something. Doesn't seem like she's raising an alarm, just searching, but it gives you guys a moment to talk.
Pay her no. From her view, she is perfectly correct. But
are you sure? Are you sure we can? Are you sure that we can trust her?
For the duration of the research, absolutely. I hold her reputation as my or our authority in that. Once her verdict has been given, we may need to depart suddenly.
Fair enough. Just out the way we came. And hope that it isn't blocked by people that she's secretly, notified of our presence ahead of time.
Yep.
takes her some time before she comes back. You'll hear the thuds of books, cursing, as the rain patters against the high windows. But when she does come back, she looks to Rukhari, then back to Pekka, and extends the scroll that you had handed her. Shakes her head. You realize you'll be hunted for this.
Hunted for what?
What?
We already have invaders, and now what are you gonna do?
Do for what?
Ma'am, can you please speak English? I'm sorry. Ma'am, can you speak common? Get to the point, please.
Yeah, she doesn't look at you, Aerel, but instead looks to Pekka. Again, only because I owe you this debt. Your bird here is true. From anything I can gather, this document's right. She'll shove the scroll into Pekka's chest, as though she wants nothing to do with it.
Your reputation is once again your own. And for what it is worth, thank you.
I will consider the debt
Let
to you
us
fulfilled.
depart before there is a need to strain further our...
Pekka, give me a perception check.
Oh, let me just find my... do that right.
Now she, again, takes a step forward towards you. Leans in close, wanting to whisper. This is the only chance I will give you to choose the right side, Pekka. You're on the wrong side of history right now. Them or us.
It is not a choice. It is, as it has been, a mission. And with that, very well.
Sorry I have to do this. Off in the upper levels of the library, you hear a door open, slamming against the wall, and voices coming out. We can't let him out of here.
Great. Okay. Run!
Yeah. 3 people, if you notice looking up, are looking down at you, Rukhari. Let me get those. So are you going to try and run?
We're on, at least some of us are on unfamiliar turf. We don't know who else might be here. Probably safer to just run.
Yeah. What about you, Aerel?
None of the men look familiar to me as the one that attacked my clan.
It's hard, it's a little dark. Not able to see much in the library.
I hear Rukhari say run. I look and see, do I recognize anybody? And then I just gently touch Pekka and be like, Vamonos, and I just start running.
And you guys run out the door, out the way you came, but Pekka had to lead you down winding halls, and for part of it you had to be led in by an informant. You're not quite sure which way you're going. Let's see how lucky you are, though.
Come on.
Come on.
Arrows rain down upon you.
Oh.
Aerel, give me a reflex save.
Okay. I can certainly try, but wait, how do I... Oh, okay, that's how it looks like. You go over here. You over here. Let's get you right here. You say a reflex save?
Yeah.
Alright. Reflex it is.
Arrow goes whizzing right past your face. You could feel the feathers on your cheek as it thuds into the wall of books. You can keep running, but it seems like they have their sights on you. Or we could roll initiative and you can fight back. But you have enemies at your back that can see you better than you can see them.
Well, some of us have low light vision, which helps.
Yeah, I do too. So if we gotta fight, let's go. Let's fight. Let's get them off our backs and get the hell out.
It's a difficult choice to make. Someone within this room also knows about the lineage. I don't know if that's information
is
that
the
you necessarily want to get out.
librarian still there?
She's still back, just standing there. Pekka, did you run?
Pekka would have been going for the run, pretty much intending to take the lead since he has at least some chance of remembering or a way out of here.
Yeah, the librarian is in the back, right where you had left her as you ran on. And you could hear the arrows being knocked. So it seems like they're about to fire. You guys have paused for a moment. And you just hear her saying, "Traitor to our kind, Kylemakki. Traitor to our kind." Over and over again. Yeah. Keep running.
I see no reason to stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
Pekka,
running
Rukhari,
until
Aerel.
we are unable to do so without fighting.
Perfect. Reflex saves from all of you.
Can do.
Okay.
Come on, there's my boy. Okay. Reflex save. Okay. Not too bad.
Oh.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
They once a future king.
What was that? Let me bring this up. Alright. Rukhari
Yes.
and Aerel. Right. Cuts against your thigh. Let's see here. It hits you. Screaming against your skin. It's not a deep cut. You take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Put that in there. But you can definitely still run. It's not hard, but it seems like this group is following you on the second level of the library, not wanting to let you out of here.
Okay.
But the doorway is right there, the hall. Perhaps if you're able to make it out there, you'll be able to get out of these arrows, but you don't know what is going to be on the other side, just how many people she's alerted. Go ahead.
Well, better to at least face him on even footing rather than being squished in here.
As you continue to run, you find yourselves blocked at the end of the hall. 3 individuals stand, laughing at you. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Great. Okay.
This is fine.
Fine. Totally fine.
Pekka is a cleric, yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh no.
Aerial's on brand.
Aerel.
Oh, I guess I go. Alright, so, you know what? I mean, y'all have never seen her do this, but her hands starts to, like, have whispers of smoke. How far away are these men?
Let's see here. About 30 feet.
Oh, joy. I'm about to try and do Ray of Frost. Like, y'all have never seen her do this before. So, it'll be a D20 plus, I'm guessing it's a D20. So, we're just gonna spell. Never used it before. Okay, well, that. Let's see. Make a spell attack roll. The ray will, just to point out, see a modifier, but. Yeah, I don't think that 10 would work, wouldn't it? This is my first time using it.
It's okay. It misses. Putting out one of the fires on the sconces right next to you. Gotta practice your magic more.
Yeah.
But one of them will step forward, charging towards Rukhari. Seems like he's the one that they want. They have a dagger in their hand. It's a miss. They swing too wide. The next one comes forward, just seems like they're out for blood for you, Rukhari.
I wonder why. I wonder.
Yeah. Hit.
Okay.
Slashing into your shoulder with this small dagger. You just sort of embed it in right by that bone near your wing, taking 5 points of damage.
Okie doke.
But now it's your turn.
Okay, these guys were throwing daggers at us, right?
No,
Or
these ones
they,
down in
like-
front. They're right in front of you now.
Oh, well, that makes things much easier. Okay. I will then use one rage, or one action point to rage. So I believe that gets me, I think probably 9 temporary hit points. And then he is going to use the remaining 2 to swipe.
Right.
2. Okay. So 32.
32 hits. Which one are you aiming at?
Well, with swipe, I can target both.
Oh, you can. There you go.
Yep.
You hit them both.
Out of curiosity, that wasn't a crit, was it?
Sure. Or if you drop the dice on their token, it will 25. No, it was not a crit.
Okay, good to know. Then no, really gotta change the. But anyways, that is a 2-handed strike. So 8 plus 4, that's 12. So 2 is 14 for both.
Good job. Alright, and you actually did crit. I re-looked at their AC. So go ahead and
Oh,
re-roll
well
that.
then.
Crit.
Okay. Well, we can just add another D10 to that mix. So, 8 to 7. Hold on.
So why don't you
12.
describe this as you are swiping at them?
Basically,
Jeez.
he, more than anything, he wants to get the royalty thing out of his head, so he is just putting all his weight, all his energy into fighting, just to momentarily block that out, so he draws the time, just, well, actually, he probably already had it drawn, just brings it across, like, right about at chest level. Here, I'm gonna need a calculator, because math.
Okay, I just calculated it for you.
Okay.
21.
And 1 plus there's another D8 on top of that. This is the vicious quality. Another 4 on top of that, and I would imagine the critical effect would apply for both.
Yes, it's one roll.
Okay, so they are both flat-footed.
Perfect. And that leaves it open for Pekka. It is his turn.
With them being flat-footed, Well, it's getting a bit busy around there. I think Pekka is going to cast his spiritual weapon. So summon out the black whip and set that slashing out at the rearmost of the three, just to spread the pain a bit. That is a regular spell attack. Just going to do a Divine Lance to get the spell attack in. So that is a 22 to hit.
Misses.
Okay. And then he's just going to reach out and 7 points of healing into Rukhari.
Not 81. That would be bad. Excellent. Aerel, back up to you. They've attacked Rukhari. Drawn blood.
Without him noticing how angry I am, I feel stabby. So I'm gonna pull out my bastard sword and just try and cut him. Let's see. This feeling stab. Whoa. Yep. Does it hits?
It hits.
Okay, so 5 points of stabby damage.
Your training really seems to have helped that you've been doing with Rukhari and Pekka. Pekka, was that a misroll? Okay. Let's see things come on. Alright. I believe you have 2 more moves, Aerel.
Oh yes I do. I'm a stabby again, cause I'm feeling stabby. Let's see, does it work? See?
Yes.
See? Okay.
20 crit. Alright, good. You're just laying into this one.
Yeah. Alright. My last and final one. Does a 19 hit them?
Misses. Just barely. Probably in the excitement, your sword going a little bit wide.
Yeah. Now it's my turn.
The librarian, Thronebreaker, moves forward, coming up behind you, Lot, finally reaching you. She doesn't have a sword drawn, but she knows the truth about Rukhari and now believes that her debt is paid. So she will reach out and attack him with sorry. Alright. This is why I don't do spells. Oh,
Just
Just
attack
kidding.
the burb.
Attacking the bird. Oh. Yep. She hits. I'm never doing spells again, by the way.
Acid arrow.
There you go. 10 damage.
Okay. Well, he's got some hit points. He's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, you've been training for this. For that. The next one comes for actually Aerel this time.
Okay.
That hurt. But
Wow.
she misses. But now it's Rukhari's turn.
Okay. He will, with one of his, yeah, why not? Let's do this. With one of his action points, he's going to, kind of look back at the librarian that just hit him with the acid arrow, and he's going to attempt to demoralize her. Which in this case doesn't even... He just gives her, like, this intense look of, like, you best be running, otherwise bad things are going to happen to you. I believe that is intimidation check against that target's will DC. I don't know how well this is going to go against a spellcaster, but we'll see. Come on, where's the thing? There's my thing. Yeah, you never know. You never know. 23?
She's shaking. You've intimidated her. Takes a step back, away from you.
That works. And with his remaining 2 action points, he is going to... The 2 other guys are right in front of him still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he will use those 2 to once again swipe, because it's a really good flourish. Da-da-da.
You do have a hero point. If you want to re-roll that.
You know what? Let's use the hero point for that, because that was just sad. Watch me roll another one. 23?
It's one of them.
Okay, I can work with that. It is...
Yeah.
Okay. D10. Alright, 3 plus 4, 7. So plus 2 is 9.
Perfect. Sword, again, just swiping across. One of them was expecting this and is able to take a step back. The other one isn't quite as fast as their friend. But now it's their turn to attack at you.
Bring it down.
Critical hit.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
It's definitely going to hurt. Piercing damage. Die forward. 23 points of damage.
Okay. He's still got some life in him.
Yeah. They want you dead, Rukhari. You could see that sort of in their eyes, the bloodlust. They don't want you getting out of here. It's the last thing that they're able to do.
Okay.
Pekka.
I don't know that this is going to have any actual effect, but Pekka is going to somewhat swirl around and just lash out with his wooden symbol. And at the librarian and cast Brand the Impenitent, which starts off at a fortitude save.
All right. Is it just the fortitude save?
Yeah, it's a
Or you cast-
fortitude save, and then you get to decide if she is a follower of Selket in good standing.
29.
Okay, yeah, that's that's basically a no effect. Success. Oh, okay. So yes, the question then is she a follower of Selket in good standing?
She is. You taught her.
Okay, yeah. In which case the spell fails, so that's fine. And then he's just going to go ahead and
But
strike
what is
at her
the
on the
definition of
basis.
good standing, Pekka? Because you guys seem to have
The phrase on here is if the target is a follower of your deity in good standing, the spell fails. So I imagine that basically implies that if she is a follower of Selket and she's able to draw the benefits of being that follower, then it would fail. But if she's a follower of any other deity, then she will lose 1 point of armor class for my purposes, or anybody else who's a follower of Selket, for 1 round.
She looks at you. Confused for a moment. Almost looks like as though you slapped her. She shakes her head. Can't believe you still follow him. You taught me his ways. She's surprised that you would even brandish that against her. but she makes no move against you for now. Aerel, back to you.
I'm just gonna do what I do best. Just stabby things. Cause that's what I do.
Stab is good. Stab is good.
That'll be a unnatural 20.
Misses.
We're gonna try this again.
Maybe a little bit of panic is seeping in.
Do this one more time. I'm going to shoot my dice in the face.
Each slash of your sword seems to grow wilder. Maybe it's the fact that Rukhari is bleeding next to you rather heavily. I feel like you're not fulfilling your oath that you had grown up being taught, failing.
That's it.
Yeah. The librarian is just staring at Pekka, confused, still shaking from whatever Rukhari, that look that he gave her.
The Imperial side eye.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a question. I'm looking at the athletics centered action trip. It's the so okay. First of all, he's gonna go from a two-handed grip on a sword to a one-handed grip. Just to clarify.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if I used 2 points, would I be able to attempt to trip both of the dudes in front of me?
Your weapon has trip on it.
Does it?
Or are you trying to tackle them? Or trip them?
Essentially, well, that's why I said he was going to free one of his hands to do it. So essentially, like, pull him down to create an opening so they might, get out into the open.
Yeah, you're only able to trip one of them. You'll have to
Okay,
do
that's fair.
additional.
Okay, fair enough. All right, he will. Yeah, he'll go for whichever one seems the most puny.
Yeah, so it's against their reflex DC. You roll athletics.
Yep. How does a 33 look?
Whoa. Oh my god.
Well, let's see how good their reflexes are.
Right hand.
Oh, you beat them handily.
Okay, out of curiosity, was it a critical success or just a regular success?
Critical success. Is that 1d6
Okay,
bludgeoning?
so
And they're prone.
that is true. Roll it at d6 again. 6.
Their head knocks back against the parapet flooring, just like with a loud crack as you take them down.
Okay. That works. And okay, he'll turn to the other one and go in with the katana. One-handed this time. Or hold on, that's not the right one. Or yeah, that's not the right one. 26.
You hit.
Okay. And I'm actually able to use the regular damage for this one. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Go ahead and describe this.
So he just pulls the one that's down, cracks it, like bounces the guy's head off the floor, turns, and just down from the top.
Clean in half. You just sharpened your sword. Blood splattering against the books. Pathway is clear ahead of you. There's that pesky librarian still behind you. Looks like she's about to run.
Your call, Pekka.
I don't mind scaring her a little bit.
She takes a step back.
Do that. And go.
We'll hunt him. Mark it back over. My oath is fulfilled. He will not see the throne.
Well, you gotta kill me first. Judging by what you've brought here today, I've been left wanting.
We have armies. There's a reason that your kind was gone.
I'm not like the rest of my kind. If you value your lives, hide. Show your face around me again. Better hope Pekka does a good begging for your life game, otherwise I'll flay you standing.
She stutters, takes a step back, eyeing that blade that you have, and then turns and runs. Disappearing into the darkness is a crack of thunder, followed by lightning rumbles overhead. But we'll get back to that as you guys are leaving the library with the knowledge that you now have. Altair, Freya, Viz. It's a very different story up here. Calm. Viz, go ahead.
He peers up from the book, shuts it, looks to you again. Looking out into the tree line, it seems he's heard something. As his ears, they perk up. He returns, Altair and Freya. Yes, I have something for you. Briefly, a thematic component paired with the movement of hands, suddenly a blue light glowing from his palm. It grows into a semi-physical form, the shape roughly of maybe a crane. As it develops, you realize it's the shape of a heron. This amorphous blob of energy, as it takes form, it emits light. It looks almost like ectoplasm. And as he releases it, it lands on the ground and hops over towards Freya. There's a calming aura radiating from it. If you know fear magic, This is about the opposite. Do you reach for it?
There it is. I reach down and I pick it up.
It's calming. Altair, you know this to be the Heron of Fear. And that's Fyr, credited to a clever mage. But, describe what you know of it.
So I feel like Altair would be watching that, and it seems like there is like a bated breath as she, like her face is very neutral. And again, like there's that bated breath as she watches what Freya's going to do. Because Altair knows this as a test. And when Freya picks it up, it seems kind of like her breath catches for a moment, but she keeps her face neutral. And she turns to look at what Viz's reaction is.
Freya, how scared would you say you are right now?
Overall, her fear levels are very high. I'm unsure of what's going on, what my patron has done, or what I've done to my friends, what's actually occurring within myself, why my familiar, someone who was supposed to guide me, help me through this, has basically turned on me the way she has.
Freya, to be stoic is not found in the mitigation of pain. You endure to survive. Now, you accept this gift. You will be without fear. I want you to ask yourself. He opens his eyes. Suddenly you see they're milky white. Only just now he's opened them wide enough to get a look, and he'll lean towards you. Or you may let it go. Fly away, energy released. To bear this pain yourself. I ask that you decide what is best for you. The heron's wings stretch out, and it looks to hop towards you, maybe in your hands if you were to reach out, but what do you do?
She looks at it. But I don't want all the fear gone. Fear is... No. She looks extremely confused for a moment about what she wants. She looks over at Altair. Definitely at this point afraid of letting her down because of knowing how hard this trip was for her.
Altair looks at her and gives a smile, but says simply, it has to be you that makes the choice. Otherwise, it has no meaning. You are the one who controls your destiny, and I believe in you.
She looks at him. And she tries her best to sit up, even though she is fairly weak within Altair's arms. I want to learn to master my fear. I don't want it to just go away.
Then release this heron.
So she will release it.
If mastery of fear is what you seek, there is no bad decision. If you were to make the right choice, well, what is there to fear? Come. I will show you this place. He stands, if you're ready to stand.
She will do her best to stand and follow him.
Altair would help her to her feet if it looks like she needs the help. There have been a great many changes, Master.
Not of my make. The magic of the mind related so closely to death. As you approach death, it is said one's whole life flashes behind the eyes. Distill that. Create it. You have more time. In essence, as you look around, painted bamboo right on the outskirts of this perimeter, this clearing high up in the mountains. Every third stalk is painted red, just like the archway you came into. Small words glowing, the little runes up their spines. And he leads you along up towards the waterfall. Within this place you have opportunity to think, to train. You have time. Time is a punishment. Altair, when you left, I found someone to train. He reminded me of the others. He carved this place in memory of the one he loved. He said a dream. He envisioned this place. He made it to memory. These are powerful things, things I do not understand, but the successes and the failures, they share one thing in common, you see. The ones who leave are the strongest. A student to stay until training is complete. She is weak. Weak of soul. You left. Salix left. Rush left. I left. I left more than once. Now I imagine your friends might need you. No?
I know that they are capable. They have become so incredible over the time we've shared together. I have no doubts that they will continue to do great and amazing things. My heart, I wish I was with them, but I also don't know. I can't. I feel as if my place must be here while she is also recovering.
I must tell you who you are, what this means. After my training, I made a mistake. Thrush of Victor Cora, he did a violent thing. There is a great darkness in him still today. He failed me. Salix, he may. It is unknown. But if he does, you are left.
We've met this Salix. I found him to be one who craved conflict for the purpose of conflict, rather than any sort of higher purpose or calling. He seemed intent on declaring that he knew the will of the gods themselves. His arrogance seems to be something that can crush the world as easily as it can save it. I do not know if your teachings took root within his heart, Master, but I pray for the world that they did.
He has much to learn. He, too, has a mind clouded by love. He would do anything for the ones he cares about. But strange that he would not let them go in order to protect them. Huh?
I understand, Master.
Do you? Would you? He looks at Freya.
I told you before. If you were to be her guide, I would pay whatever price it is. And I am a woman of my word.
I have one last secret for you. I will train her. I need you to see Salix. Not now, but soon. It is not time. Let us speak of who trained me. Yes? He's going to head over into the building on the cliff edge on the opposite side of this rectangular perimeter of his little oasis, this peace in the mountains. If you follow?
Of course.
All right. More on that later.
Yes. Back to the other three. You've successfully been able to exit the library out into this torrential rain, just pounding down upon you. Luckily, it will be able to hide your tracks. It almost seems like every shadow, every sort of whisper through the trees is something in pursuit of you. Takes you all night until you finally feel safe. Maybe that was just Rukhari desperately trying to get away from something, escape something. Aerel, a past that she doesn't want to confront yet, but you find yourselves in a grove of trees outside of a village. You think you might be safe here, but you finally have a moment to reflect on what just happened. You're tired, but that adrenaline is just pumping through you. Still, but it's starting to edge. You guys go ahead and take some time.
Well, it looks like we have a choice.
We do.
We can escort you into obscurity and far, far away from this place, or we follow what appears to be a destiny-made manifest. Both will earn us many enemies and be very dangerous, and we will need help.
Yeah,
But at
took the
least
words
it's-
right out of my beak.
Where can we get help from? That is a question.
Yeah.
Well, I have been contemplating what could be done. One thought is that we do as any rebel group would and keep striking from the shadows at our adversaries. Maybe in the name of the existing rebellion, try and steer people's attention that way.
So, what I'm getting at is you want us to join the rebels that are trying to fight to get their homeland back from the idiotic from the warlords.
Not necessarily join, but it does strike me that at least we share a ways to the means, i.e. removing the warlords. The question being what comes next.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Look,
Damn
right
it, it
now,
was so easier yesterday.
I don't know. Look, right now we are tired. I cannot think straight. We are probably hangry, and we need something, food in our bellies, so we can think about this in the morning. Let's find us a place to rest,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about this when we're not all thinking about it. And before we do that, I'm gonna have to need a moment. Can y'all wait for me? And before y'all say anything, she goes in, like, tries to find like a force or something to be alone for a while. Is there a force around or someplace she can be alone to collect her thoughts for a little bit?
Yeah, you go off, Aerel, walking through the forest. It's still the drops dripping off of the leaves from the rain that had happened. You go a good distance until you finally feel comfortable enough. Right on the edge of a small creek. Leaves, it's fall right now, scattered about, the water rushing by. It's very calming, reminds you of home. What do you do?
I think of home. I smile for a little bit. She'll sit down. Aerel will sit down, and she'll sit at Greek and like this. This is something I have never held in my life. I never held a secret, because if I knew something, I would run to someone to tell them. And this is a secret I feel like I have to tell, but I don't feel right telling it. And I keep looking at that creek like I'm actually talking to someone and be like, if you just give me a sign to give me the strength or something that'll help me tell Rukhari that I am going to protect him for the rest of my life. Which is it's probably gonna be an easy job, I don't know, but just a sign or something. And she sits and she meditates on it, almost like she's waiting for something. And after a minute, she doesn't. She looks around, don't see anything, and says,
There's something shining in the water. Catches your eye.
I pick it up.
It's this smooth, probably worn by the creek, white rock, perfectly round in the palm of your hand, cold to the touch. So you sort of rub your thumb around it. It just feels calming, something familiar. And a twig snaps behind you.
I turn around, pull out the great sword, and say, "You better come out. I heard you. You ain't gonna like. If you don't, you ain't gonna like me."
You don't know how. You don't know why. There's a shadow there, taller than you.
Oh no.
But it feels familiar. Aerel?
Yes.
It's a voice you recognize.
Okay. I get so confused that I'm gonna like, how do you know my name?
No more than just your name. No, that's not even your real name, just something you took once you left our village.
Hey.
You can't see me.
Okay.
Aerel, I'm here. It takes you a moment to realize that this is the voice of your brother.
Oh. Oh no. Oh god.
The
Ari?
shadows are moving in a strange way. Just at the base of a tree, this enormous oak tree. The leaves just this deep blood red color.
Oh.
You know what you have to do. It's probably not what you think you have to do. But I'm not really making sense, am I? There isn't much time, Aerel. There's not much time at all. But you don't have to do this. You're the last of us. Go live your life. If that life is protecting him, then protect him.
Alright, don't. I don't know what to do. Should I tell him or just don't and just do it because I feel like it, or just go and live my life and.
Aerel. The White Dragon clan is gone. Our clan is gone. You are all that is left. And I'm sorry for that.
What?
So sorry for that.
Why are you apologizing?
Because we weren't there. And you were bearing this burden for us. You have a new clan. Caerdonel, you have a new clan. Go with them. And be what you want to be. But I have to go.
No, Ari.
The breeze comes up.
Don't go. Ari, don't.
Rustling the leaves.
Don't go. Don't go. No, don't you go. No, you're. And she's like running towards the tree where she sees her brother. Oh god, I'm crying. Oh gosh.
Rukhari, Pekka, you hear these shouts, not too far off of Aerel. You recognize her voice by now.
Rukhari's already like halfway through a row of takoyaki, just like, oh, damn it.
Your turn, I'm sorry to say.
Seems so. we'll go looking for our little sister.
What are you doing there, Hill? The shadows have sunk back to where they normally are. The moon's just shining down, listening off of those little drops of rain, but you are alone. That rock's still in your hand, though. Warmer now.
She's still saying her brother's name. She's saying Ari, come back. And she says it so loud to the point she doesn't even recognize that the stone is like warm in her hand. She's just like, Ari, come back. What do you mean? Come back. And she's like saying it loud to the point that hopefully someone she's like, Ari. And she's still like reaching for the shadows and it's like she's just not there. It's like, Ari, come back. Come back. What do you mean? Come back. And when she realized there's nothing there anymore, she just falls on her knees and she just mutters her brother's name, Ari, over and over and over again. And hitting the ground again.
This is what you come upon, Rukhari. Aerel bent over, slamming her fists against the ground, saying a name over and over again.
Well, not the worst thing we were expecting with all that shouting. Shh. He'll look over to Aerel. Kind of put an arm around her. You okay? Kid was a bit scared there.
I'm sorry, but he was here. My brother, he was here. My brother. No, he's gone. He's gone again. He's gone again. I can't see him no more. I never told y'all about my clan because it's so freaking painful.
The
But
Dragon Clan?
yeah,
Remember remember you shouting that while we were on the Colossus?
I have something to tell you, and I think I know the reason why my clan was killed. For as long as I known, I was supposed to protect you for some reason, and I was supposed to protect you from everything, from assassins, people trying to kill you, and I kept it in the back of my head because I don't know what I should do.
I'm guessing by protecting me, you mean protecting the Emperor.
Yeah. And I think that's why we were killed. And me and Ari, we was the last ones until he died. He was hunted down, and he died. And I guess I don't even remember what happened when he pushed me out of that cramped hole we was hiding in, and I found Altair and Freya, and that's when then Pekka came, and then you came, and y'all became my family. So yeah.
Well, the fates have bitches of twists that way, don't they?
Yeah.
Start off sworn to someone you've never known, never even met, didn't even know was alive, and you got roped into my bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why are you
sorry.
apologizing? Why are you apologizing? I should be the one to apologize. I mean,
Well, it sounds like you've had to go with so far.
yeah. I mean, Terry told me to be strong. Don't, keep my head low and all that. But how can I be strong if I have this hanging over my head and protecting you and,
I mean, in a roundabout way, you're already protecting me. We're family. That's what families do. They protect each other. Whether it be some distant oath or the bonds we forged with each other these past few years. And you've made a damn fine warrior. You know that, right?
yeah. She slowly stands up, looks
There you
at
go.
the thing in her hand. She's like, this came out of the water. I don't even know why. Man, when this came out of the water, Ari shows up. After all this time. He even apologized to me. Because I'm the last one of my clan. And, yeah. It's just this, it's kind of weird that 1 minute your friend, he was just friend, next minute he's the emperor, and now you either fulfill your clan's duty or just live my life.
Well, at least you can be sure you're not alone in that. Because lately I'm going through some similar emotions.
Come on, I think Pekka's waiting on us.
Yeah. Oh, want some Dakiaki? I got the first couple balls, but it's good. It's got a nice little melty center on there.
Sure, I'll have some.
There we go.
Do you guys walk back to the camp? Something just changed between the two of you. But we're going to go back over to Altair and Freya.
You're arriving. It looks like a bathhouse, almost. A place to relax. It hasn't been used much, though. You wouldn't imagine there's much relaxing in Kaoling. But there's a painting on the wall. Two. One is strange. It depicts several heroes fighting a battle somewhere far off in the jungle. But it might just be decoration. Beside it is Viz. He's praying in front of a library. And he stops to observe it in this mudroom. What do you do?
So this is inside a room?
Yeah, you've just entered this house
Okay.
that faces the cliff drop off.
I feel like on approach she would just kind of give a skeptical eye at the bathhouse and just make a comment like, are you looking to become a tourist destination, master? Before, but like quiet enough so he could hear, but not like noxiously so. And yeah, she would calmly follow and look at where his eyes are drawn to try to understand what he's looking to show or tell her.
Well, his eyes, they stay focused on this painting before him in this mudroom. For a moment, it trails off to look at Salix, actually. A fresh set of white wings on the other painting there. He's standing before what looks to be a massive tree in ruin, but he comes back and then looks up in this tall portrait. It's his mentor from many years ago. She looks down on him. She is smaller than him, but he's on his knees in prayer. She has a brilliant orange coat. She's his kind. He doesn't talk much about the Amaroon, but you know he was a scholar of them for a time. Perhaps there's more history there.
And what is the Amaroon?
That's the cat folk.
Okay. So I feel like she would kind of look at the painting and just try to again understand what he's trying to get at with that. Like you can see like she's like doing her best to like work it out, but she's like obviously not entirely certain what's happening. So yeah, I think eventually, after they're in silence for a moment, she would look at him skeptically and be like, I don't believe you brought me here to observe a portrait of yourself and a portrait of another's vanity. What is it I am intended to see?
Before we continue, I ask we do the business of why you are here today. He looks at Freya. Where is your familiar, Freya?
I turn to Altair, having been out most of the morning, unsure if she had killed my familiar this morning or not.
Altair would give that very stoic, like, nod, and, you know, it's weighted with the pain of knowing how much it had hurt her to carry it out.
I will tell you now. I kill a thing, much like this creature, every day as I wake. You are not great for killing titans, colossal beasts. You are great for killing that small evil thing within you every time you rise. I would like you to return to me, on foot. But first, you shall see where another of my students has failed. He did not kill this thing within him as he awoke. As he let it fester, it ate at him. He has committed an atrocity. Freya, you will go. You will take this darkness with you. And, should you survive, you will return to me. And we will cure you, if that is a word you like.
I nod slowly at him, slightly confused, but trying my best to understand. I will try. She is quite strong. It will take me time.
It would not be a fight worth having, should this be a weak opponent. There's greatness in you yet, Freya.
Come. He will take the large portrait off of the wall in front of you. It's nice and cozy and warm in here, but suddenly, without the decorations, it still seems like an eerie, manufactured place in the middle of nowhere. It's too comfortable for an environment like this. But he sets it down. He actually hands it to Altair, so you can take a close look at it as you hold and wait. And he leans over as you pick it up to look at it, and he taps that woman who trained him. Look closely. And then he'll move to the wall, the bare wall, and trace a claw along it in a circular motion. It cuts into the wallpaper at spots, but then suddenly a portal forms. It looks like water in the night, caught at a strange angle. You can't see through it, but you know there is through it to see. Freya, what do you do?
I look back briefly at Altair, and then I will step through.
She will take her hand for a moment before she goes and look into her eyes and say, Freya, my love, I may have broken the chains that bound you, but you are the one who set me free. Whatever path you have before you, please note that while I may not be there physically, I will always be by your side, and I will always be within your heart. I love you more than anything.
Freya will
And then
pause
and she'll let her go.
and kiss her quickly and whispers, "I will find you, my sister."
You step through the portal, excuse me, and around you there is fire burning on buildings and trees around you. We'll get back to that. The other three. You wake in the morning. There's a strange smell in the air. You look, and there is black smoke rising just past the horizon. It's large, just plumes of it beginning to fill the sky, the breeze bringing it your way, filling the air with this sort of sickly, acrid scent of burning wood and other things you can't quite place.
Oh, that's not ominous at all.
What? And that canister is just enough. Fuck.
Yeah. What do you think? Battle? Siege?
Well,
Mass cremation?
I think us. They're willing to sacrifice the forest to get us.
Great.
there's for the love of all that is holy.
You hear screams running away from this black smoke, coming towards you. Rushing feet, getting closer to where your camp is set.
I slowly get up and grab the first person that comes to me, like, what happened? Are you alright? What happened?
This villager, they're shaking. You can see that they're covered in this black soot that fell from the sky. You can feel them trembling in your arms. There's fire, so much fire. I don't know, we just saw the shadow over their village. We didn't know if it was coming for us next, so we ran. You better run too.
Thank you for the warning. And she... Now, Aerel is oddly calm. Just real calm. She starts picking up her weapons. She starts putting on her armor. She turns around and she says to Pekka and Rukhari, I know this is stupid, what I'm about to say right now, but honestly, I don't care. I want to go into that fire and see what the heck's going on.
Right, that is crazy.
It's easier to survive a fire running through it than away from it.
I may be just a country bumpkin crow, but that seems just a little counterintuitive.
I know it is, but something telling me we need to check out that fire, and if it gets too hot, we can leave. We can go somewhere else. I promise. It's just give me Brittany. Aerel's doing math in her head. Like, give me 10, 15 minutes. Let's do the
Another
crazy
group
thing.
runs by.
Okay, well, that's... Do they
And
look...
just screaming about. Go ahead.
Oh. Well. Okay, give me 5 minutes! And we'll see what's going on. Then we can leave.
Alright. 5 minutes. I get the feeling we're going to be seeing some hobgoblins, but we'll see. I trust your judgment, Aerel.
Okay. And you just see her, like, just walk through it. The last thing she grabs is a stone. And then she just, like, just starts walking towards the fire.
Yeah, there's not as much fire over here, but as you continue onward, you'll notice that some of the trees, the fire is strange. It's not red as you would have imagined. It's black. The core of it, this deep blue, almost purple color. And still people from the village that is right nearby, they're screaming of these wings that just shadowed the entire village. They don't know what got that place, but they didn't want to be next. They're just like, thank God it wasn't us. But that's how it goes. But you continue onward. You have a couple minutes as the fires begin to grow bigger, but off in the distance you see a village, buildings collapsed, in the state of collapse, just smoke rising from them. As you get closer, that's when you start seeing the bodies just slashed apart. But they're not just normal bodies, they're giants. Large creatures. It seemed like there was an encampment just past this village that you had camped outside of. You see crates overturned. It doesn't seem like anything was spared, but you still hear screaming and shouting and the sounds of that. Just as you're on the edge of it. We could come back to that. Freya, everything around you is burning. You hear the screams, but off in the distance are 3 figures. You barely make out their shapes through the smoke. But this is the only thing you've been able to see so far. So just kind of thrown into this.
Before I go any farther, I will cast shield on myself, just in case reasons. And I will proceed towards the 3 figures.
Out of the smoke emerges some faces you didn't think you would see. It's been a year since you've seen them. Rukhari, Aerel, Pekka, standing there, staring at what's going on.
I run straight at Aerel, kind of forgetting where I'm at for a moment. and what's going on. So I think Aerel just sees like this dark shadow racing at her at this point.
She sees this shadow and she kind of braces herself. She's like, that's coming towards me. She slowly unsheathes the bastard, sort of like, okay, yes, this thing's attacking the village. You can see her like slowly doing it.
Off in the distance, you hear shouting again. Something has happened. A deep, sort of guttural voice shouting to be spared.
I'll turn.
Backing out, leaning for a second on a massive shack building before moving back. It's a giant. He's wearing robes. They're the size of full bed sheets to you. He's standing at some 14 feet tall. He's leaning on a scepter. The wood had been burnt, cracks in half, and he falls on his ass and starts backing away from a winged figure for him in silhouette. No. I hadn't done it.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll fix that. Audio, but the giant...
Okay.
You bring her back right now.
I can't.
You took her life. You restored it.
I haven't. It wasn't me, and you know it. You killed them hours ago. They were wrong.
What?
Okay, they were kids. They didn't mean to kill. That's it. We're all dying now.
What?
You killed her. And now you refuse to fix your mistake? Bring her back now.
He crawls away from this angel. I haven't... The spells, I have nothing.
As he tries to crawl away,
What?
Salix cuts his legs off at the knee. You will bring my starlight back right now, or I will rain hell down all around
In
you.
a scramble, he turns to see if there's anyone who could save him. When he realizes his friends, the guards, these giants, they were bandits probably, to be honest, from what you understand of Kaling, but it doesn't matter when you're this close to death. His tearful eyes scan for a savior. Is anyone in sight to be seen?
Four of you now see this. Just through the smoke, hearing the shouts. Doesn't seem like you've been
Help me.
completely noticed.
Somebody. I can't bring it back.
I actually will go to step forward, but then I will remember what I was told, and I will step back into the shadow.
Salix starts to yell as the blade he wields releases a really high-pitched whining noise, and it would probably be enough to make everybody like cover their ears if they have any kind of normal hearing. As it extends from a sword into a spear straight through the priest's lower stomach.
Anime?
he lifts him up and lets him drift down on his hilt towards him. So he reaches up a glowing red hand and touches his face. You took everything from me. Now
Batting.
you pay your consequences. His hand grips his face even harder, and in a guttural roar, shadows rip from Salix's body and burst outwards, shredding everything around him in about a 20-foot sphere.
You guys just see this person that is supposed to be the savior of Kowling just massacre this entire village. This entire camp.
Pekka turns to Rukhari and just very quietly goes, "We may need to reconsider that alliance."
Yeah, but I will say I think you were onto something. But whatever we tie ourselves to, it cannot be with him. And on that note, he'll whistle. Hey! Little dove! Right over here.
Oh boy.
Salix would he's far away. He's got that 1,000-yard stare as he kind of reaches next to the walks over, picks up a lifeless body that you guys would probably recognize as the sea elf who hired you before. He's got black tears streaming down his face. And he just kind of keeps walking.
Yeah, we saw your, we'll call it a light show, but quite the pyrotechnic display.
Doesn't seem to hear you as he just continues to walk. Bodies, more than you can count, just strewn about. Not even a backward glance at them. Just leaving you poor in the middle of this burning village of no survivors.
No army today?
He will stop at a certain point, right at the edge. He'll kind of turn over his peer over his shoulder and then disappear.
Well, certainly a lot less talkative than last time.
What the fuck?
Took the words out of my beak.
Yeah? Yeah? Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, I don't see any of his... I mean, as chat before, but none of his troops, his army.
It's
Why
like
the hell would he have...
It's like he just came here and did it himself without even thinking about it. But I know he was asking the giant about his starlight. I could be wrong. That's pretty
Wait, so
odd.
like a pet name?
At this point, you
They've
see
got
Ariel kind of blush. I don't think that was a pet name. Cause I was my plan. They used to give their lovers names. I think him and that pretty sea elf that I would have gotten with like a couple years ago. I think they're together. I might be wrong.
Well,
Might be very wrong on that.
I mean, did you see the sea elf? I didn't.
No, I don't. Well, didn't he hold her in his arms as he just literally just like walked past us like we were ghosts in the wind, like we were never there?
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's surprising. They were a capable warrior,
Yeah.
but in battle, accidents happen. Even someone that's untrained just got a spear and shield yesterday can get a lucky blow.
That's true. Well, ain't nothing here for us. Wanna just get on?
I mean, yesterday I might have been able to walk away, but I don't think I can do that now. Pekka, would you be able to help me give some of these? Oh, I'm not used to this. Would you help me give some of these folks their last rites?
Absolutely. Leave it to me. Aerel,
Yes.
would you happen to have some reasonable tea?
Well, I do have some elderberry tea. Would that help?
That will suffice. I am somewhat low on incense.
Well, it's gonna take a while because Ariel can't find anywhere to get some incense for him.
It's okay. We'll come back to it as you guys prepare these funeral rites, city burning, and back to a much more peaceful setting with Altair, Viz.
So yeah, she's looking at the painting and just kind of like, you know, again spends her time trying to see anything that she thinks Viz wants her to see before she just finally seems to sigh with some very familiar frustration to him.
She would
Master.
sigh as you go on.
I know Master Amrian is... I had thought that she had passed on. Are you asking me to find her?
On. Pass on. Where do you say on? Pass to where? She Disappointed, Altair. You should know by now. Everything I have taught you, every lesson, it was not mine to teach. That is why I disagreed. Most of the time, it was her lesson. She should learn the lessons once again, as she was robbed of her memories. That is why I'm teaching them to her. You are her, Altair. You're my mother. Painting looks real familiar now.
But that... No, that's... How can that be
This
possible?
was not your trial. A silly trial for you, to be sure. This was my trial. I could not teach you that I knew what you had taught me. So you decided I would teach you. It's your job to tell me if I've done well. It's been many years in preparation for this. We will discuss. Come. He moves further into the building. I'm gonna leave it there, though. Go ahead.
The group.
She would basically, like, look at the painting again, just trying to see anything familiar. Just sort of working through everything before, like, you know, again, she notices that he's left the room, and then she just kind of very cautiously put it down and follow.
With that, we go back to a scene that's quite different. Funeral. At least most of the bodies have been burned, so you don't have much to take care of. You just sort of have bone mash at this point. Seeing the fire burned hotter than normal flames. Freya, where have you gone? You step back into the shadows, following some words. But there's a road.
I've stayed back and I've watched to make sure the three are safe. To make sure that nothing comes for them. To overhear a conversation as much as I can. Desperately missing my familiar at this point. It made overhearing conversations so much easier. And then I will follow the road back. Realizing that if I'm going to be of any help to them, to stopping what I just saw from getting worse. First, I have to figure out how to deal with, and I kind of look at myself, at my skin, the darkness. Figure out how to deal with this. So I will follow the road back.
The road leads away from the village, from this encampment that the other three are at. You made it so that they didn't notice you leaving, just this pair of footprints walking through the dust. Catch Aerel looking for some tea, some incense. Pekka reciting some prayers over fallen, slain bodies. Rukhari, that light just sort of glinting in just the right way to silhouette him. You know that you're leaving him in good hands. But the three of you, you hear footsteps approaching, rushed, hurried, running towards you. And in just a matter of moments, four guards approach, looking around at the destruction, not able to really believe their eyes, and then settling on the three of you. One of them steps forward, just rubbing his chin, shaking his head, wide-eyed. Is he gone?
He's gone.
Yes.
At least for now.
You notice on his breastplate there's an emblem of Phoenix, its wings spread wide. Give me a society roll.
Okay.
All right.
Society.
I should know. Society. Oh, this is fun.
First time for me, yeah?
I know Jack.
Why don't I know these people?
Pekka, you recognize that emblem on the breastplate. That's Salix's Phoenix Guard. The intruders, they've his closest sort of army that has surrounded him. You've done your research, you know ways, you know how this army sort of functions a little bit, at least the basic bureaucracy and structure of it. But these four here are the closest allies to him. But they're looking at Rukhari and Aerel, Pekka, and it seems like they can't believe what is happening right now.
If you're
I'm
looking
guessing-
for Mrs. Salix, which I think that's who y'all looking for, he flew off somewhere with the sea elf. I don't know where.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing none of this was your doing by your reaction.
No. I mean, they're bandits, not exactly like giants. They're the best type. I'm sure there was a reason. Another one pipes up. They're just utterly massacred, though. And kids. So he looks around.
Where's the rest of you?
Some of them shuffle a little uncomfortably. But the one that's been doing most of the talking steps forward. He just disappeared. He just went off. The whole army's looking for him. I'm sure he's probably back by now. We didn't know he was going to do this.
Do you think the rest will still follow him, knowing what he's done?
One of the ones that hasn't spoken yet takes a step back. Of course we'll still follow him. We followed him across the sea. There's no way that we would just... For something like this, they're bandits.
Aerel completely snaps when she hears that. She's like, I'm sorry, you want to follow a murderer who killed women and children? You'll still follow him to the end of your days. Is that what you're telling me? Because I'm pretty sure that is a really stupid freaking move for someone who we just met, a year ago or so. He scared the complete shit out of pretty much almost everyone. Mostly me. But still, back on topic before, I get off the topic like I always do. This is blowing my mind. You're gonna follow someone who did this. Who would massacre people that worked, that played, that were laughing, that were crying, that were enjoying life. You will follow him. Man, she literally just walks away. Mad with him, man, back. Walks away, angry.
Birth, one of the Phoenix Guard would say. Tan skin, his head cropped. He looked bald. He's very tall, though. They're trained to kill from birth. You familiar with the war effort?
Sadly.
Yeah, well, you'll find the giants are quite egalitarian. They will tear you limb from limb. The toddlers are heavier than I am. What do you want from us? Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to see, and usually the last ones left flee. Doesn't mean they're innocent.
It seems like there was, by Aerel's description, more than just killing bandits. You know of Starlight, correct? Seems like he was looking for a way to bring the Starlight back.
Let me ask you. If you were dead, you were dead. If they were all dead, and they did it, you thought one of them could bring them back. You'd try?
I probably would. But then, I can't do this.
Might he be a dark and broken thing? He leads us like a lance. But he's not us. We respect him. We follow him, but we're not him.
I am going to regret this. What if there was another for you to follow?
Points to a man in the back corner leaning against a wall. His burly, flowing hair into a knot. It matches the knot on his beard. It's a clean cut on that beard, isn't it? Mutiny will cut a tongue just like that. This isn't the time to question who we follow. Do you understand how close we are to victory? Say what you want about Salix, but he's building a pile of these dark thrones. There are 95 in this nation, and fewer than 5 left to go. We can talk about what we want after the war is over. But you're stopping at the finish line to ask about how we got here.
If you can live with yourselves, fine. But there are
And you have a right.
You have a claim to this nation when it's over? Who
I'm
then?
going to regret this. I actually do. Pekka, if you would.
Looks to the hobgoblin.
You have the joy of being amongst the first to see the discovered heir to the real throne of the gods of this country.
He rubs his bald head.
And when Pekka says that, Aerel comes back in like goddamn Roadrunner, as if it literally got into the man's face. Like he just runs like Roadrunner, as it's literally the Roadrunner says, "You ever lay a finger on him? You're not gonna like me, sir."
Yeah.
It's not us you need to worry about. Spreading that information around.
Believe me,
So yeah,
I'm well aware.
Need proof.
Just got killed.
And then when you have proof, and we see it, get rid of the proof. If Warlord Kylemakki see that he could delegitimize you in a heartbeat, or just fucking kill you.
We actually do, funnily enough, my companion, Pekka, this is a weird twist of fate. He got it, so, long story. Found a genealogy of sorts, a family tree, leading up to the goddess who started the Imperial line. And it ends with me. We actually got it double-checked by Pekka's old companions who, well, let's just say they're probably going to be on my tail for a long time.
Not if we win this. Okay, map. He points to an assistant.
Maps brought out.
If I say this, I can't go back. Is anything anybody would like to say? He scans the room.
Please.
I had something to say. I was going to ask about that Lord whatchamacallit. Then it slipped my mind. So I'm just going to be quiet now.
He opens the map. There are 5 thrones. We saved the worst for last. We can pick them around. Kaoling, Janine was easy territory. Anything remotely bordering near Quan Lai, easy. But Lakeside, Dusharg, the neighboring holds, we can't crack them. What they don't know is we don't have enough to. Our air fleet is running out. They don't know divided we can't hold against all 5. We thought we'd last another. It doesn't look like we have it. If we kill the warlord in one fell, phalanx assault style with the airships, I know you've seen it before, you'd have claim to the throne the second his heart stops beating. Undisputable, if we play this right. 4 holds, they're signed in pacts. They couldn't rebel, they couldn't resist. You'd have every literate hobgoblin on your side. Maybe. We need to sack the capital of Kaoling. We don't worry about the defenses. We don't worry about the war or the fights. We take it head on, over the walls. Many of us will die, but then it'll be over.
Strike at the center.
Yeah.
Lop off the head of the dragon, as it were.
I only have one question. How do you expect the whole entire army... Well, actually, I have two questions. This is the first one. How do you expect the whole entire army to go over these walls and sack it and cut off the head of the dragon, as they say?
Siege towers, perhaps?
Might not like that part. Well, this is the part where you must acknowledge that we understand what Salix and company can do. He's infantry in the sky. He's his own airship. I've seen him take them down himself. Vesperin. You don't have to worry about her. Augie, Thronebreaker, she'll take point. I'm not saying it's likely as a victory. It's the best shot we have. They expect it. It's a known rumor. The Angel of Death will come and rid Cowling of its misery. I'm sure you've heard something like that over the last year or so.
Yeah,
that was Vesperin.
If you can get me through the walls, and I deal with this last throne, upon my death and upon the mandate of heaven, upon every chrysanthemum that grows within this land, all who dwell under heaven will be equal.
That's why we're here. He turns to the other men. The Phoenix Guard. Men, women. That's why we're fucking here. Alright.
Got it. That we turn back over to Altair. Freya. It's been a while since you've seen one another. But Freya arrives back at the this place that you've stayed at, Altair. Her feet tired, she can barely make it up those last couple of stairs. You're away from travel, but you're there to greet her.
How long has it been?
A year.
As I kind of cross in, I just sit down. I don't go fully in right away. I relax for a moment before I completely walk in. Just kind of happy that I actually made it there myself.
So, do I see her from the, what do you want to call it, from the, like, I don't know, top part of the stairs, or?
Yeah, you're sitting on the porch of this bathhouse, just looking out at that gate that you had walked through with her not just a year ago, and just thinking about your wife, meditating. All of a sudden you see her there. You see her walking up. Not quite sure if it's an illusion or if she's actually there.
So, yeah, I feel like Altair would sort of rise and, you know, sort of in that, like, I'm not sure if this is a dream state, so, you know, she would walk towards her and, you know, just, I guess, offer her a hand up. Welcome back. I do not have any doubts you would return.
I instantly embraced Altair. I saw them. They need you.
What? Who? What are you talking about?
Our family, they need you. The angel is crazy. He burned a village out here.
Salix, right? I see. Are they safe?
They were when I left.
Come. You can tell us what has transpired, Master Vizmaravash. Like to, would want to be present to hear what had become of his student. But
So I will follow.
But she would take her for a moment and just hold her very tightly. And it just kind of feels like it's one of those embraces where she's memorizing every part of her. Like the way she feels, her smell, her hair in her fingers, etc. And you know, it is very much like this is the one joy that she has allowed herself for this year. And then, you know, she would release her and lead her towards where this is.
He's sitting in a pond, sitting on a massive hewn stone, letting the water run over his feet. It's cold out, but he doesn't seem to mind the water. Have lessons been learned?
You. Listening to your words was harder than you can imagine.
To prevent the tragedy would not stop the failure that Salix had made. This evil rose in him on this day. He failed to kill it. That is the tragedy. These lessons to learn are not of my making, but to which I was taught. He looks at Altair. Cruel as they may be, I seldom question their nature. Do you feel stronger for it, Freya?
Yes.
With that, we made more good.
Can you
Tell me
stop
what
him?
you seek.
I seek a way to help my family.
Hmm. You must aid them in this victory. Somehow and in some way. This is a battle on many fronts. Find where you can be useful to them. Let it be so. The Dreadful Three will leave this place soon enough. That I can sense. It is up to you and yours what will become of Cao Ling after they have left. He sort of just looks out to the panoramic view of Cao Ling from the outskirts and these mountains on the northeastern Janine border. So,
I am strong, then I can control my magic. But when I cannot, it can cause damage to those I care the most about.
there are ways around this. Preparations to be made.
If your student has strayed from the way, and the ripples are further reaching than we could even imagine at this time.
Yes. Further reaching even than I could see. The orc woman. She will do something dark. Salix. I am not so sure. The Vesperin. Well, you will see. But this is not their story. This is for your friends. They help them, no, but they help Cao Ling. You will go. See this victory. And when they leave this place, Salix and company, I have more for you. He takes his feet out of the bath. And looks at you both. Freya, do you say anything?
To rejoin my friends, to rejoin my family, to see this victory as you wish. How do I know that my powers will not do more harm than good? The last time I stood with them, I almost tried to kill them.
This is your connection to death, no?
Yes, I guess. To my patron, to... Yes.
Death. Oftentimes the patron of the patron. Even the gods bow to death. Come. Ah! This is burnt from the hot coals, but he marches along back to that house again. He seems to always make a routine of this, moving in and out as he speaks. It's exhausting, but at this point it seems intentional. He leads you back to that mudroom in the center when you first come in. The painting of Altair, or rather, Viz and Emrine, it's gone. But still, there's another painting. The one from before. It depicts people you recognize now. A Salix Lavendil, not with the black wings, but with brilliant white. And a wizard. A gnome. A halfling. The shot is strange. It looks to be a memorial to living and dead. Muted colors depict those who have fallen. In near grayscale, you see lizard folk. Notice the halfling as well. Hundreds of Akuje elves and humans. Kobolds. And a plethora of other races you don't recognize. This was a war somewhere far, far away, and it looks, by the scale of it, to have taken many lives, maybe thousands. All of this laid out to a background of a massive tree, broken, nothing more than a colossal stump. He points to the vibrant, colorful depictions of those who are still standing. You immediately get the sense that this is to show who's alive and who's dead. And you do recognize Salix, at the very least. He points to it and just circles the group with his finger. You. And then he just turns, crosses his arms. When I say Phrasma, what do you think?
I look at Altair and I kind of shy away from her slightly.
Altair is very quiet.
I know Altair will be unhappy about this. And a year ago, I would have had no opinion either way. But over this last year, I have come to find her somewhat pleasing.
Looks Altair.
Why displeasing?
It is the things that Nightwing says, the things that I am told. I do not know. I do not understand it completely.
It is reasonable and wise to fear the face of death, for death is simultaneously unknowing and all-knowing. But Pharasma's face is also the face of the midwife who brings new life into this world. The face of the Divine Mother who watches over and protects those who again bring life and protect the cycle of it. Hers is the face that is the comfort that you feel when you breathe your last, when you know that your life's work is complete. She stands judgment over you, weighs your life's choices and the value, and determines where you are placed within the cycle. But she does not judge with malice or intent, but with fairness and neutrality, because that is who she is. But my words are just one component and do not do any justice. There is so much more to what it is, and your familiar knows only a component of it. But if he tells you to fear death rather than to understand its place within the cycle, then you must understand why that is wrong and incorrect.
I understand that Pharasma's place in the cycle. And I understand where and why my patron believes the way she does. And I find it hard to balance the two. I wish to follow closer to the cycle that Altair believes, farther away from my patron, for I believe there should be a judgment where my own patron does not. But I also do not know how to remove myself from the patron that I have been given and that has chosen me.
There is a chance. You see, a time. A servant of Pharasma is just that. A servant. You are granted an opportunity. Turns back to the painting. The survivors of the great battle. They will all die in time. It is with great sadness, I must confess. Some, I believe, sooner than others. He scans over, looking at everybody, not stopping on anyone, not even Salix, clearly depicted there with his wings. By spring, someone here, and you point back to it, will die. You will watch this. You will not stop this. You will deliver them to the river of souls. That is the next step, he says with a frown.
With that hanging in there, understanding, we go back to the three. Preparations being made. You have a city to take. Something to help with. You aren't sure how much time that you have. You weren't given as much information as you would have liked. But Rukhari, Aerel, Pekka, you know what you need to do if you want to save Kaoling and see Rukhari on the throne. But you guys find a quiet moment. The minute, just as the reason before, you know that everything will be different before a war that you hadn't thought to even join upon you, a sacking of a city. You're not even quite sure if the three of you will make it out alive together. That thought is just kind of omnipresent, just hanging in the air before you as you sit around this campfire. Night falling.
A gamble
I
well
never.
taken.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
honestly thought those guys were going to take off my head. So attached to Salix. We really would want him on the throne. Looks like there's a shot for a native ruler.
Yep.
I've never been so thankful for being a street rat, hanging out outside. There was this ratty little place where all the folks who consider themselves hoity-toity would sit around and compose haikus. Talking like them is really weird. I gotta tell ya. Mandate of heaven. Oh, I felt myself throw a little bit in the back of my throat. But apparently that's how emperors talk. That's how it is in all the stories.
The stories are written by bards, not by the rulers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But then they always give those grand public speeches where they do the things with their arms. You know, they wave and they do. I'm gonna do that.
Rukhari, your words are sort of cut short. A searing pain enters your shoulder. You begin to feel dizzy.
What?
The wound that you had gotten back in the library never had healed quite as well as you would have liked. Everything's spinning around you.
Rukhari, are you okay?
I think there's some shenaniganery going on here.
How shenanigans?
Aerel,
But-
Pekka, give me a medicine check.
Oh no. Oh no. She said it was medicine. Oh no. Oh boy.
That darkness is just continuing to creep across your vision.
How, why, what? Oh, that would be a 20, ma'am. That's shocking me, because she's not trained in
Risk rolling it.
medicine.
Pekka, Aerel, you see Rukhari fall. Just sway to the side. And Pekka, as you put your hand on his throat, there's no pulse.
What?
You notice you pull back his cloak, and that wound that was there, there's a blackness sort of seeping out of it. That's where we're gonna end.
What?
Yay! I'm a die!
No!
You are
I'm
not
putting-
escaping.
I am putting my foot down. No, nuh-uh. Not that. Not today. No, not tomorrow. I don't care. I'm gonna put my size 13 foot down. No, Aerel's like a daisy. None.
Oh man.
Oops.
Huh. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that.
Out there, about that death goddess you worship, I think I might be meeting her soon.
I guess we'll find out next Friday
Right.
for our final episode.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh, final. Oh
That's
man.
hard to
Yeah.
believe. It's almost done. Oh my god.
Oh man.
It's gone by way too fast.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, this has been our Pathfinder beginning episode. Thronebreaker, Heir to the Throne. Yeah, sorry. My heart's still racing. I'm sorry, Rukhari.
Are you though?
oh.
Are you?
Maybe a little bit. All right. So, real quick, our schedule for this upcoming week. Saturday, I believe we will be premiering a new series called from Alien TTRPG. So make sure that you check that out. It will be GM by Mitchell Wallace. 8:30 Saturday, and then on Sunday, tune in for Age of Ashes. If you want more Pathfinder, it will be episode 46, 47, something like
46.
that. Yeah, everyone is on top of a moving mountain. I don't know. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be great. And if you want to see more Fantasy Grounds, you'll see it there. I wish to get Ian to tell me more, but I'm sure he's not going to. Just want to thank our sponsors, Fantasy Grounds, and extremely thankful to Michael Gelfi and Rock Garden. All their links will be in the show notes. Real quick, let's let everyone do their outros, and we will start with Ashely. Down there.
I'm Ashely. I played Freya this night, and I look forward to our final episode to see how this all wraps together. It'll be quite interesting and fun.
Yeah, I'm interested too. Nen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I played Altair, the reincarnation of Viz's master. And that was cool. And you can find me on the internet at as Savage Sparrow, or my website is savage.com for awesomely nerdy apparel and accessories. I will be a virtual sponsor for the upcoming virtual HorrorCon hosted by our friends at Gehenna Gaming. I think it's the weekend of the 9th, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But it is super awesome. They're going to be hosting a bunch of Onyx Path properties. If you're a fan of World of Darkness, Scion, etc., or even horror games like Cult and Call of Cthulhu, it is a Twitch convention that you should not miss because it's going to be great.
Super excited. Steve.
Hey there, I'm Steve. I played Rukhari Tsukaba, the Black Feathered Emperor. Hopefully, this little jaunt. Hopefully, he won't be visiting Grandma Goddess too long. I mostly hang out in the Discord, Penny for a Tail Discord. Sometimes I'm on Twitter, mostly posting photos of really interesting animals I find. Yeah.
I love it. Brittany.
Hi, I'm Brittany, and I am in pain. Anyway, I play Aerel Caerdonel this today. Maybe that's not her name, but I do write. I am a writer, also a college student over at Brittany B. Writes. I also sip over things like The Darkling and Anthony Bridgerton and other things I like to simp over nicely. Thank you. Well, yeah, see you later.
You're amazing. Staffan.
I'm Staffan, RQ Staffan on the various interwebs. Tonight I was Pekka Kylemakki, who basically is the one who has to go around bashing everybody around their head, big fat book to make sure they're pointed in the right direction. When I'm not here, you can also find me, well, yet again on this channel, Tuesday nights for yet more horror, where we get to parade Call of Cthulhu in front of a varied crowd and see how they react.
Love Call of Cthulhu. Last but not least, Ian.
Hello, I'm Ian. Tonight I played Vizmaravash of the Cosmic Caravan. Also a couple miscellaneous NPCs when I was getting bored and trying to shake shit up a little bit. If you like Pathfinder, we'll be back on Sunday, as we've been doing for the last literal year, and we will continue to do so for at least a year with this campaign. It is my pride and joy, and also definitely be here for next week, because I will be watching this epic conclude to Thronebreaker. Also, thank you for having me. This is great.
Not excited. Special shout out to Daniel for coming on like literally last second. He was great about that. I've been Sam. I'm in the Storyteller tonight. You can catch me on Tuesdays doing Call of Cthulhu, as well as on Sundays playing Augie, the half-orc barbarian, who makes all the best choices. And again, at HorrorCon on the 21st, I'll be running a panel with Mitchell where we talk about marketing and TTRPGs. So it's going to be great. But let's get you guys off to bed. Thanks for watching and have an amazing night.